What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 Northwest Europe AI only battle. Completely went blank there. There we go. We got it back. We are beyond turn 200 now, and we'll push through a few more turns today because we did the info addicts last time. That took a while. But yeah, today we'll just get through the turns, get through some action. We, of course, have Normandy continuing to exchange hands between... sorry, not Normandy. York of the Celts exchanging hands between Normandy and the Celts. We'll see. That is the main war right now, I would say, between civs that border each other. Lyon here is in the yellow, and Denmark has arrived. If Denmark gets this, the border gore is going to be so gross, so I kind of hope they don't. But we'll see. We've got some other civs doing their stuff, making some comebacks, kind of. I guess the Netherlands are doing okay at the moment. They seem to be, I don't know, they've been really up and down. There's been moments where they look like they were doing great, then some bad times, then some good times, so good to see them getting a nice mix in there. But yeah, that's the main conflict at the moment. Some of the other civs just taking a little break. I know Russia did just kill off the Commonwealth, so we'll see if they get back into any action. Civs like Poland building up, but nothing major from them right now. Most of the land is now full. There's one tile left, or a couple tiles in the middle of Iceland, but no one's going to get to them. There is this island, or the Faroe Islands here, which I think the Dutch are about to grab. And that leaves a couple of spots if you could squeeze a settler in here. But in fact, I think it would have to be Norway or Finland, who are already here. Or I guess this Sweden. No, because of the mountains and the borders. I mean, one of these two could squeeze in one more settler, but that's about it, really. Not much else that can happen. So that's fair enough. Now I need to remember, I don't know if you can see that because I just did it, but I have to take some more screenshots for the thumbnails because I keep forgetting, and then it just becomes messy. The thing is, it's hard to know what to screenshot at the time, right? Because I name the episode and stuff afterwards based on what happens, so I don't really know where I should focus the screenshot. But I'm going to get some for just some of the recent episodes as well. Just make sure we've got a nice number. I think if we just get a nice generic one here of... Oh, this happened, didn't it? Hungary died at some point, so we'll take a thumbnail for that. There we go. Boom. Oh, I don't want the grey in it, though. See, there's a lot of important moments that go into this that you don't even think about. I don't know if that one even worked. There we go. There's a few, right? If I just scatter around, take a couple of every part of the map, we can, we can make that work then, can't we? There we go. Right, this is what happens when the AI doesn't declare enough wars. Here you go. Let's get a complimentary one of Iceland just in case. But we do have York going back to Normandy. I'm surprised they're putting up this much of a fight, and they're also really armed up here. I mean, there's so much pillaging going on. That is pretty rough. Norway does complete the CN Tower. We see. I think Norway is the not dark horse, but the contender to Denmark, the biggest challenger, because they did just kill Sweden. And they're still getting stronger, obviously, as all these cities get integrated. Oslo is at 37 population as well. So yeah, we'll see. I think Norway could pose a big challenge. A war between them and Denmark. I mean, there's so many big nations in the Baltic Sea anyway. You've got Russia, Poland also bordering it. The Soviets, I think they're they're not going to have the best game going forward, but they're going to be hard to kill. You know, they're not going to be an easy takedown for anybody. And also you've got the Finns up here as well, who are also definitely a contender. Maybe a bit slow to get started, which has hurt them, but they're still in it. Sweden's turn. Moving around their one Great War infantry. Who is going to declare war? Someone's got to declare war on someone at some point. Wine has been banned and arts funding has passed. There we go. Ireland, just some regular planes. Still on nuke watch, see who's got one. Ireland is making a bit of an attempt here. I don't think this will go too well. These poor paratroopers really got sold a bit of a dream when they got on that plane, because no one's coming to help them. And this destroyer is on its last legs as well. So yeah, I think they got conned in a little bit there. East Germany completes the Apollo program. We want wars, not peace deals. The Soviets and Great Britain piecing out. Not that that's particularly close. And same goes Finland and Great Britain also piecing out. What is next? What is next, AI? Come on. You know you want to give us something. Little submarine, just hidden away. Safely this time, after I forgot to make it safe last time and it died. That was not embarrassing at all. We've avoided that scenario. I'm so confused. So Britain is just fighting Ireland, okay, and the Celts Normandy. Okay, that makes it. Whoa, okay, there we go. We got our reward, kind of. They don't border each other though, do they? Nope, not quite. Finland versus Russia. I mean, it's big, and Finland does have open borders to get over here, so we'll see. But it may lead to some more stuff. We may see some others join in. But that's pretty big. They have nukes. They can certainly. Yeah, this could be interesting. They have a lot of nukes. Oh my goodness, there's like 7 there. The Netherlands with the Apollo program. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. They're not exactly head on, so probably won't. Neither of them are going to die or anything crazy. But obviously, it depends. Like, will Norway join against Russia? Will Poland invade Russia? It could get very messy very quickly if some other civs are to join in, and that may happen, you know, in 10 terms time, of course. You get things like that, agreements to come in later. So we'll see exactly what happens as time goes forward. For now, though, York continues to be the centerpiece of the world's action, as it once again falls into the Celts' hands. Denmark completes a spaceship booster. I think a lot of them may be building the spaceship parts, want to avoid war, because they don't want to lose their spaceship parts. Maybe that's a part of it as well. Who knows. Britain with the Sydney Opera House, and there we go. I said more civs would join in. I wasn't thinking Ireland would be the key piece, but that certainly is. Norway versus Russia. That's pretty big, and kind of a weird choice from Finland, because Norway is probably going to conquer anything. If anything goes here, it will be Norway. That's terrifying. I mean, that's very brave, right? Because if Russia loses this city in, say, 1 turn, which probably won't happen, but it could, you know, if you get enough attacks happen, you could lose all your nukes. But at the same time, it's a very. I think we're about to see a nuclear war between Russia and the others. Now, I don't think Norway has any nukes, so they won't be throwing any in, but I believe the Finns don't either. Well then, maybe the nukes will be the equalizer here, but yeah, but in a 2-on-1, that's pretty rough, especially assuming Finland will now get open borders with Norway. They've also got themselves the Apollo program, and Belgium, of course. That saves Russia's, really. They're safe now. Peace deal between Belgium and Russia. Commonwealth settlers, I think they've given up. They're just living in this lake forever. And the Dutch did grab the Faroe Islands with a worker builder coming all the way up. Keep an eye on that. There is a lot of trade between Iceland. There are still some very isolated units, though. This Celtic submarine's pretty out in the open. This privateer's pretty far away from the nearest unit. Some very, you know, units that are just far away from land. This missionary, just here. Brittany's trying to spread their religion. Look, it's not going to work. Ireland's obviously got their own religion, so that's a bit of a fortress for that. I'm surprised Britain that actually doesn't have a religion, because the Celts have one. You'd have thought maybe they're just in a tug of war between Brittany, the Celts, and Ireland, who all have religions. That would make sense, right? So Britain's just not following any of them. Aquitaine, of course, have Islam. That's not even got that far. It's only into Normandy and the edge of Brittany. Belgium's religion of Hinduism, still kind of around here, but not really. And obviously, yeah, we know that is it Eastern Orthodoxy, very dominant out in Eastern Europe, Russia. But a lot of areas pretty religion-free. Norway, Stockholm's Eastern Orthodox, but the rest, not so much. And so far, Smolensk takes a bit of a hit in the first turn. Russia, I assume, moved their nukes as far away as possible. I think their bluff may have been called. They're not going to use them all, which would have been a real fireworks show, wouldn't it? Helsinki, Sigtuna, Stockholm. If you just hit all these cities, like 6 or 7, I mean, Oslo would be massive. A nuke here would be huge. I know hitting the city's probably better, but if you put it in the middle, oh my goodness, that would be devastating for Norway. So yeah, we'll see. Norway have to play it safe. Denmark can't really get involved in this, even if they give open borders to Norway. They're kind of in the way. Like, these boats have got nowhere to go. So Norway's going to struggle with that. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think it's probably going to be a bit of a stalemate, just because of, like I said, Norway's stuff's trapped over here, really. Finland's got to come through. Pretty small gap. Maybe Gotland, the island of Gotland here, as we now know, will fall. I've forgotten what this one is already. Was it Bornholm? That was a complete guess, but maybe that's what it was called. I think that was it, right? It definitely began with a B. Probably. Normandy and the Celts peace out, and that was all that excitement, but York stays with the Celts. They also peaced out with the Danes, who sort of retreated or died anyway, so not so bad. Burgundy is still going for this. My pick, not doing so well in the. I mean, they're probably top 10, but they're not. They're not making big leaps towards winning at the moment, which is a shame. I'd like to see some more from them. I'd like to see someone just do something. Some of these civs. Austria's another one, just very quiet. The Czechs, they look pretty weak. Austria, I think, could have a good run at them, particularly this city. And from there, obviously, you can get to Prague, you can get to these coastal ones. There's opportunities there. East Germany's, obviously, they've got a few units, but they're not the best by any means. I mean, I don't want to go against my own pick or anything, but even if Austria was to, like, go after Burgundy, that would be pretty exciting to watch. And see what happens. Is there any more settlers just out there with a chance? We saw obviously the Dutch. No, I think that's it in terms of any more settling. The Netherlands grabbing the most. I guess you could squeeze one onto this island here if you tried. Ireland is managing to get quite a few. I guess, I don't know, this must have been pillaged by them at some point. I guess they're just para-dropping in and pillaging stuff, which is fair enough. I mean, distracting them. But Britain is still okay. Leeds, one of the biggest cities in the world here at 32 population. But yeah, neither of them really suffering. I think Ireland's capable of keeping them at bay as well. Normandy and East Germany reach a peace agreement, and the city of Smolensk is dropping in health, and Finland really coming through with their navy. There's a frigate, or at least one or two frigates in there. Those units, that's the short straw, isn't it? You're coming up against battleships and atomic bombs and rocket artillery, and you're just sailing in a wooden ship. Sacrificial lambs. But there is some battleships and destroyers here for Finland. There's also an ironclad. They've done this without planes, which is quite impressive, so congratulations for that, I guess, Finland. We'll see if they can get the city of Smolensk. That would obviously cut off this island. But yeah, I feel like Poland, if Russia gets weak enough, Poland's the one to keep an eye out on. They could really, really flip this. If this area gets empty as well, you know, obviously splitting their attention. And Poland could really leap up the scoreboard if they were to play a big role in killing Russia. But we'll see. That's pretty far off from happening yet. Sweden and the Czechs, very far apart, but they do peace out. And Britain is the next civ to complete the Apollo program. What do we got? Commonwealth and Austria, that doesn't matter. Now friends and Commonwealth and Belgium. Never mind. He's not even alive. Eric. Who is Eric? I think Eric is the leader of Finland, or the Swedes, but Finland for the sake of this game. Is this a new city as well? Maybe. Maybe it's just small because of its location. And they finally complete... Yeah, it is. It is the Swedes stroke Finland. They complete the Manhattan Project, so still a while till they have an atomic bomb. But there we go. They're working towards it now. They've completed that project, so that's at least something. And actually, here we go. We finally... I took a few screenshots, and I think one was close, but here's a perfect one, just over Russia. There we go. I'm sure I will forget to use that. But now we've got quite a few. I've probably got enough to cover every situation between now and the end, because I tried to make them not a spoiler either, which is why it's difficult if you forget and then you want to go back as well. I don't want to make them a huge spoiler. Obviously, if the title gives it away and stuff, then that's okay. You know, I mean, you're going to watch the episode. It's not like they're predetermined before, so it's not a massive spoiler, but I don't want to go back afterwards and use a later one if I can avoid that. But yeah, now I've just got a random collection I can just pick out from for the next remaining episodes, I guess. That works for everyone, I think. But Finland, very close. They're surely getting this next turn, yeah. They must do. There's a couple of destroyers here. Russia's not put up the best defense. Obviously, they're threatening them with these atomic bombs. We'll see what happens, but obviously they can't really use them to defend this city, because you'd have to nuke your own city, your own units. Not that that would be the worst idea. Although, does it... I think it destroys the city if the city's already low enough. Well, that might be... No, I think you need to do like 2 nuclear missiles. I don't know exactly how it works, but you could destroy it in theory if you hit it hard enough. But there we go. The Swedes, or as Finland as we've been using them for this game, have conquered Smolensk, or the island of Gotland. So that's an interesting one. I mean, it adds to the mess of borders, because that is not connected to the rest of their land at all. So we'll see what that leads to. This could obviously upset Norway as well and trigger a war between these two at some point, which would be a giant mess as well. Norway, so many boats here. I wonder if Denmark would get involved. I guess they could go after this island, and that would make sense to get a bit more of the water. Then they could connect Rebay here with their capital through the water. That would make sense. But yeah, Poland, they're another one. Just keep an eye on them. Are they going to join in? Well, that's pretty big, though. Celts versus Britain. They finished up with Normandy, and now we've got a big war in the British Isles. And Ireland has not peaced out yet, right? Or did they just peace out? Maybe they just peaced out. Am I forgetting things? We'll check in a second in the diplomacy tab. But yeah, I think Nomino, I have no idea who that is, to be honest. Sorry, Nomino, whoever you are. The Celts versus Britain, though. So that's pretty big. And yeah, it looks like Ireland is still involved, just from the damage popping up. So this could get a bit rough if they're both going together. It's going to just add to the difficulties for Britain. East Germany has denounced Norway. Ireland has become friends with Aquitaine. Okay, interesting. Very surprised they haven't done anything, but they do have a lot of these champion units that they are a unique unit, and I don't know exactly what they do, but the fact they're on horseback is not a good sign when we know there are units with civs with, like, I mean, even just infantry, but there's mobile SAMs up here in the Netherlands who I think are probably going to be doing great for technology just because they're not so big. Sweden's turn. Celts versus England, Britain, we've seen that already. Upcoming session, banning of silk and Catholicism. They are just, what else have they done in the World's Congress? No trade with city-states, oh, that was me. No trade with Normandy and Norway, so those civs will be struggling a little bit to have as big a militaries as they want. No happiness from Wales. Well, that's ruined the civs that went to Iceland. Poland, that was all Poland got out of the Iceland cities, really, with some Wales. There's more great writers, artists and musicians, less scientists and engineers and merchants, and there is culture from every great person, tile improvement. There we go. Interesting stuff. Right, did Russia come close to getting this back? Not really. Oh, that submarine's pretty brutal. Russia, for whatever reason, just not liking them. Doesn't have any submarines. So if you can take out their destroyers, which it looks like they don't have any of those either, yeah, that submarine's got a free sort of run at it, right? I think the battleships can maybe detect them occasionally, but not all the time. I can't remember how it works. But yeah, that submarine unit could be quite a thorn in Russia's side. Ireland, they finally got some help and peaced out immediately. As you do. That's typical Civ 5 Civ behaviour. Ireland, piecing out with Great Britain almost immediately. No shame. No shame at all. That's over. Processing for Russia, the Finns. Okay, well, those two go next to each other, so that's quite an interesting, we should try and keep an eye on that. But yeah, you just see more not land because it's in the water, but more space taken up by the Finns units there, those destroyers pushing through, killing some more of the melee units in the water. I think they should hold on to Smolensk. There isn't a unit nearby that can even get it back. And Russia, I think they're holding on to their nukes. There is 9 here now, not 10, but I think that's just been moved. Looks like, yeah, they've left Norway. They're not brave enough. I think if you use one, it can get a whole lot worse for you in terms of the mercy shown in the peace deal. So I think they're going to avoid doing that. Right, the Celts not making much progress. It's a shame. I mean, I wonder if Britain could turn it around. I don't know head to head who's stronger. It looks like it's the Celts, but obviously, if you're concentrated in a smaller area, Britain can kind of do quite well, whereas the Celts have a lot of stuff that's spread out far away. But they should be okay, I imagine. We'll check. Philip III, I believe that is Burgundy, has entered the information era. Another civ in there. Get big cities, makes sense. Bombers, tanks, but just not enough to get Lyon. I don't know how he's finding it so difficult. I guess the planes are just doing a wonderful job. Although saying that, a great war bomber would instantly die to a mobile SAM, so I don't know how that's working. But yeah, Brittany's really messing this up, even with the artillery here. They're not even shooting. I don't know what they're shooting at. Just been a complete mess for them. So that's what you like to see, isn't it? Just typical AI behavior, complete mess. That's what we're used to right now. I'm very surprised that East Germany is still going. I don't know, they're not rubbish, but they're just... Surely Austria, or even the Czechs now, must be stronger. Like, they have a ton of great engineers. Why do you have three great people here? So have their unique unit, which looks, I'm guessing just by the sort of look, is a paratrooper replacement. But I'm not, don't quote me on that. Ireland enters the information era, and Poland also enters the information era. So there we go. What is the next big thing? We got one, so I feel like we're being ungrateful, but we could have done with someone a bit more head-to-head. I would like to see Poland get involved. Because, yeah, it's pretty disappointing if they don't. This is your moment. Like, go and take it. I mean, maybe Russia looks pretty weak. Look, I mean, look just here. Look, Russia, hardly any units. Most of them are civilian units. There's a few military units around. This would be pretty easy. If you hit them hard and fast. You've got units coming from the south. You've got this little bit here they can come out of. You get Warsaw pretty quickly. Vilnius, Lwów. That's definitely not how you pronounce that, is it? I have no idea, but get that. We said we wouldn't mention those anymore, so we'll just move on. Denmark with 3 atomic bombs, and Russia did get their city back. That's a nice story. Mobile Sams crossed the water and got in there. I don't know if that's just because it was still really low from the first time, or I don't know. It looks like, it looks like maybe Finland got a bit complacent and they snuck in, but they do get it straight back. So there we go. Meanwhile, here in the British Isles, no cities under siege. Looks like Birmingham will see most of the frontline action here. The Netherlands have become friends with Great Britain. Imagine if they joined in against the Celts. That would make things interesting, because they have a lot of boats compared to the Celts. They could, do some damage along the coastline. Hastings, York here is coastal. This city is not, but Edinburgh is coastal as well, so you'd distract them a little bit. And that could give Great Britain a chance to go for the non-coastal cities. That would be pretty interesting. Probably won't happen, but, we can dream. We can hope. Right, all the land is now gone in Iceland. I believe all the access to this land is gone. There's still here, there's tiles. But yeah, doesn't look like any more cities will be settled today. I know, or at all in this series. And the Commonwealth do have their settler, but it's not moved. So that they've given up. They're still around. We'll kill them off if I remember. It doesn't matter. They won't get any points if I do forget. So it doesn't matter too much. Come on, Burgundy. You can do this. We believe in you. Come on. What we do need to do is check the technologies just to see how close the leaders are to 80. Because if they're, it's turned 220. And if they're really close, we'll just do the results at 250 and then push it on and show you what happens at 300 and stuff. As we usually do. Although hopefully some stuff will happen. Last time it just didn't, so we didn't do that. But yeah, and then I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we'll have to just reinstall or something. I don't know if it's one of the mods. We'll just have to see and try and get it to work. I'll just open it up with and without different mods. And try and get a domination only one going as soon as possible. I don't know why it's not working. But there is some plans for the next one. There's not plans. There's like 3 or 4 ideas. It'll be one of them. Depending on what is easiest or most ready. We will have some new stuff, so don't be concerned. Right, here we go. Info addicts. We've crashed. Nice. Oh, no, it came back. Okay, there we go. Right, I'm going to save just in case it doesn't want me to do it. It didn't crash, which was nice. It just hit everything. Right, saved. No, it does not want us to look at them. Okay, well, never mind. I'll check. If you do it when you load up, it's normally fine, so I'll check next time. It's okay. Actually, I think if you move around sometimes it does work, but I don't want it to crash while I'm recording, so we will just hold off on that. But the Celts have now sort of begun to encircle Birmingham. This would be a big city to conquer in the British Isles. Probably one of the best to get. Obviously, Leeds is good as well. They did have Nottingham at one point, and they lost it to Britain. So we wonder if they'll get that back. Probably not, but it would be quite interesting if they could. I mean, Ireland has some good cities as well. Belfast, all of them. They're all 20 population plus. I'm sure no one would complain about that. The Soviets are the next to complete the Manhattan Project. I wonder if they could still play a role in this war with Russia and Finland and everyone. If they joined Russia's team, that would be super interesting. They'd be in a much worse position, right? Because Finland borders them. But But it would be kind of cool just seeing their boats helping out in a big naval battle, because at the moment it's kind of awkward. It's not going to be much. Like, this island is the peak of what we're going to see. Russia could obviously drop some nukes, but they're clearly against that idea for, you know, the other punishments. Where are the Soviets going? They just have a ton. If they're going after Sweden, this was a bold effort. Now, I don't know what they're trying to do with these mountains. Maybe they'll find a way through. If you can't turn back, I mean, eventually they will find a way through, right? Right, Ireland and Sweden has peaced out, so they survived this. And they also survived from Normandy. It's a bit of a random one, but here we go. Right, was it ban Catholicism? That seems a bit... Oh no, world religion Catholicism. There's no way that wins, because the Celts... I don't even think the Celts have it in all of their cities. I don't know how they think they're gonna get the rest of the world to back that idea. Oh yeah, Birmingham is definitely under siege right now. And obviously that's had an impact on other civs as Denmark completes another space booster. They have joined in. Now that is not really what you want to see from Denmark or Burgundy. There is no need for them to go to war with Great Britain, but there you go. I mean, they all like to piggyback on other civs' success. But yeah, the Celts, good progress here. They should grab Birmingham. And like I said, if they can conquer all of this, which is a bit, you know, maybe a bit of a stretch, because these two are close together, quite tactical to defend yourself. But yeah, if the Celts could get all of this somehow, then they're going to be really high up, because I think these are both sort of goodish medium civs. And the Celts were in the top 10 a lot. Britain was sort of in there sometimes. So, you know, if you add all of this stuff to your empire, you're going to climb quite a few spaces on the leaderboard. If a civ had conquered all of Britain, I imagine they would be in first to second place right now. Because it's not like Denmark just have like northern Germany, a bit of Belgium. Yeah, that's all they sort of really have. A bit of southern Sweden. Not much more. There is a new city here, actually. There was one settled, a little new one. Makes the most of this lake, I guess. You can now store another boat in there. That was probably the only reason they settled there, to store 2 more boats. But here we go, turn 224. Influential civ. Denmark is influential over 8. I mean, there's only... Okay, no, there's 20 left, so probably not going to... I was just saying they might win a culture victory, but that's probably not going to happen. That would be quite impressive. We've seen the last couple of games where we haven't been able to do domination only. We've seen some science victories. Oh no, and we saw the political victory as well from Morocco in that weird game. But yeah, we haven't seen a cultural one. I don't think I've ever seen one, but there we go. Birmingham does fall to the Celts. That's a big blow. That was Britain's original capital. And a fantastic little pickup for the Celts, which gives them all of northern Wales and the Midlands. Although it does go back to Britain for at least a turn. But you imagine that will go back to the Celts again fairly soon. Also, okay, I don't know what Norway is doing. They're actually moving away from Russia, so I think they might be about to backstab Finland here. This could be messy. We'll see. They actually have a couple of settlers up. Like I said, there's nowhere for them to go. I mean, you could squeeze one in here. I guess they could settle within their own land right here. You could think there could be another city, another one here. You could definitely have one more in this area. There's quite a bit of open space. Up here, in here, you could fit one in. So yeah, I mean, they would be a prime candidate to squeeze something out of maybe the land they already have. Why are you guys so quiet? Do stuff. What can we do? Problem is, when I tried to make them go to war with each other, it doesn't like it. I think it's because we've maybe left it too late. Like, if I made them, forced them all to war at the start or something, or after, like, maybe turn 100, that would be interesting. But I think, yeah, it breaks if you do it too soon. Too late when they have too many units. I don't know. It wouldn't even let me do it for one civ last time when I tried it. So, we'll see. The Netherlands into the information era. And that's great for them. New research agreement between Austria and the Netherlands. But let's see. Okay, Birmingham does fall back to the Celts. It is now down to 3, and the siege of Nottingham begins. So yeah, if the Celts can take everything here, I think I would put them into the top 5 civs in the world. My top 5 at the moment is Denmark, Norway, Brittany just... Oh, Nomino is Brittany's leader. There we go. Brittany just got the Manhattan Project as well. Top 5, I think Russia is in it. Like, even if I don't know if they're doing that good, but they were, from the info addicts, it was clear that Denmark, Norway and Russia were the top 3 civs, I think, unless I'm getting that wrong. And then I think it's kind of difficult outside of that, because like I said, I think the Celts could be in there if they get everything. They're not in there right now. Austria and Burgundy are contenders. Poland is obviously really big as well. And then you've got the Finns. So I don't know if I could pick a top 5. I'd put Poland in. And I'd probably put... Gonna skip Finland. Gonna be bold. I think... No, actually, what's the alternative? Burgundy. No, it's between Austria and Finland. I would put Poland in as number 4. I don't know who... I mean, these guys are bigger. But they seem... Okay, they do have a nuke now. They got that this episode. But yeah, I think Austria could just do more. Maybe that's a bit unfair, like to judge them based on what they could do, not what they've done. But yeah, Austria does look better. I don't know. I'm going to give it to Austria, but you can have your own opinion. Feel free to comment your own sort of top 5 as of right now down below. It's turn 226. We'll get pretty near to 250 next time. If not, I mean, if we get super close, obviously I'll just go the whole way. We won't wait. We'll see where we're at, basically. But we'll probably be doing the results at 250 just based on the technology, but I will check. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. If you're already subscribed, I would appreciate it if you could turn on notifications for the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.